in this tutorial we will discuss about apply method that is there in pandas. So apply method is one of the most common methods of data preprocessing. It simplifies applying a function on each element in a pandas series and each row or column in a pandas data frame. So we will do this for pandas series also and for pandas data frame to see how we can use apply methods to change the values of a particular column. So let's get started with that. So first we will use apply with series. So here I have created one pandas series which is a student which has the values, the data is equal to this 180, 175, 168, 190. So these are the values. You can assume that these are the heights of the students A, B, C, D, and these are heights in centimeter. So what we want, so this is how the output will be for the pandas series. So A has the height of A is 180 centimeter, the height of B is 175, similarly for C and D, and we want to change this height from centimeter to feet. So to change it we can use apply functionality, and how we will do, we first have to create a function. So for first we need to see that how these values are present in pandas series. So here we see these values in centimeter are like 180, 175, 160 or 190, and each of these values I want to change, or I want to convert these centimeter values into feet. So first I will create a simple Python function, let's say centimeter to feet, and in this Python function the input or the argument that I'm going to give, that argument will be these values. So when I will use apply, what apply will do, for example here this is my function and I'm returning something here. I will write the proper function later. For example, this is the function that I have. How apply works, basically I will use so I will write student. So this is students is my data, is my pandas series, and I will write students dot apply centimeter to feet. So this is how I will write I will use apply to change the values which are in centimeter to feet. So after running this code, it will convert the values of these centimeter values into feet. So I have specified the function which is going to convert these values into feet, but I just have to write it. So for example, here I will put argument, and that argument can be anything. Here for example it is height, so this function will take argument which is height, and since it will going to be values like 180, 175, and since these are in centimeter and I want to convert them into feet, and I will show after till 2 decimal points. I'll show the value till 2 decimal points. So I can simply return np.round. I will use this np.round to round the values up to 2 decimal points, and h, that argument that I have taken, which will be 180, 170, and then that divide by 30.48. so this is 1 feet has approximately 30.48 centimeter. So now I'm dividing this h which is in centimeter. I'm dividing this h by this value to convert the height which is in centimeter into feet, and then comma 2, which means I'll take up to 2 decimal points. I'll take the value up to 2 decimal points. Now I'll simply run this function which is returning which is going to return this, and now I will use students dot apply centimeter to feet. So what this apply method will do, this apply method will take this function which is given inside this apply without parenthesis. So here in this I'm not putting parenthesis like this. I am not we don't have to put this parenthesis, so we will provide the function without the parenthesis inside apply, and this apply will take each value of panda series. For example, here each value means this 180, 175. So this apply will take each value of panda series and it will give this value as input to this function and store the result of that function. So let's run it and then we will understand it properly. Now, so here if you see, it has changed. It's first it has taken 180 and passed this 180 to the argument, passed this 180 as argument to this function centimeter to feet, and it has replaced the output with replaced this 180 with the output of this function. So that was 5.91. Similarly, it has done for 175, which was 5.74, and then similarly for other values. So this is how I can use apply method to change the value of a particular column in pandas series as well as in pandas data frame also. So now we will see how to use this in pandas data frame. So here I have one data frame which has employee name, department, hire date, birth date, weight, these kind of columns. And what I want to do in this data frame, this employee name has first name and last name, and I want to split these into two different new columns, in which one column I will store the first name, and in another column I will store the second name, or I can say the last name. So how to split this using apply? So it is again going to be very simple. I first need to write the code thinking that these, how to split if I have this as input. For example, here I want to write some function, so I will say splitting, or I can say that, let's say first name, right? So in this first name I'm going to pass values like this, right? Values of employee name. So this will be some string. I can say this is okay, this is s, and I want to return first entry of this. So this is what I want to return, and that I can simply do using split, because if I will say that okay, this s dot split, and then I'll pass 0. So this s dot split, so how split works, I hope you know how split works. So this s is a string, right? S will going to be this string for the first entry, then this string for the second entry, and this string for the third entry. And for each let's take this string. Here my s is this, s dot split will going to give the list in which I will have splitted values as elements of that list. So if I so for example, here I have my s is equal to, for example, the s is my name is Avinash. So here s is my name is Avinash, and I use s dot split. So by default, split takes space as its as split parameter. So now it has splitted this string like this. So after every space it has split this, and this my name is Avinash, this becomes different elements of the list. So it will give list. Now if I use here 0, I'll write 0 here, it will give the first entry. So if I run this, I will get my, right, like that. So if I give 2, I will get is, right? So alright, so here what is going to happen, so inside this first name function I have passed parameter argument s, and I'm returning s dot split 0. So this will always going to give me the first name, right? For each of the argument that I will pass, it will give the first entry after splitting it. So this is the function that I want to use to split this, right? And now I will write, so since I need one a different column also, means I need a new column in which I'm going to store the first name. So I can write, so since this is data1, the name of the data frame is data1, I will write data1, and I will provide the new new name here, first name equals to data1 dot, so okay, so data1, and at which column I want to apply this, I want to use this transformation. So I want to use this transformation on this employee name function, right? So I have to take this column, sorry, I want to use apply function on this employee name column of our original data set. So I have to take that column. So now I will take this employee name here, and in this I want to use apply, because I want to I want the first name of each of these employee name. So now I will use apply first name without parenthesis, and I will run it, and I will see how the output will be. Okay, now if I will see, this is the first name, the new column that I got, and it has first name of employee name column. So similarly I can do for the last name also. So I just need to change my function. So here I will make last name, and I will use different function, which is, let's say, last name, and I have to create the last name function. So define, I'll say last name, again I'm passing the same argument, and this time I'm returning s dot split 1, right? So I'll run this and this, and see how my data1 will look like. Alright, so it has first name, which was previously also with us here, and last name. This time we got this new column, which is last name, which has the last name of employee name column. So in this way we can we can use apply to split the columns, or we can do several other things that we want to do for a particular column. For example, so let's say for this data set here, there is again one more data set. So in this data set, if you see, there is airline, duration, arrival time, departure time, and distance. These are the columns that are given to us. And if you notice, duration is something in this, so my duration is in this format: 2 hours 5 minutes, 2 hours 50 minutes. So if you try to use some machine learning algorithm, we have to first somehow convert this column, the values of this column, into something numerical, some numerical value. So we can use again here also apply function to convert these 2 hour 5 minutes into minutes or seconds. So for that we can we will be using apply function. So let's say we want to convert these values into minutes, this 2 hours 2 hours 5 minutes, all these 2 hours, I want to convert them into minutes. For example, if the this third entry is 50 minutes, so I want this to be 50 only, and this 2 hours I want to be this value, I want to change this value to 120, because 2 hours means 120 minutes. So to do that, I can again write a function. So I'll say that duration, so you'll say duration to minute, right? And it will again takes one a string as argument, and inside that I have to write a function. I will write that later, to convert this 2 hours 5 minutes into minute. And after that, after writing this function, I will simply take this data and I'll put a column. I can directly change this column by specifying this name only here. For example, if I don't want to make a new column, I just want to create or store the changes in that column only. So I can simply pass this name here, data of duration equals to, I'll say data of duration dot apply, and I'll pass this duration to minute. Now let's write this function. So this is fairly simple. You have a string, that string can take values like this, and you want to change these to minutes. So this is a simple Python problem. You can solve it for this kind of strings, and then just run this, use this apply method like that to simply convert the values into minutes. So to write this function, I'm simply writing it here. You can write your own function. There can be so many ways to write it, and after writing it, you can simply use apply. So here I'm first splitting, because for example it has 1 hour 30 minutes, then 1 hour will be one element of this list A, and then 30M will be another element of this list A. And now I will loop through this list A for I in range of, let's say, length of A, and I'll say if H in A of I then I will increment my second. Okay, so I will convert it to minute, so let me make it minute. So if it is hours, I want the increment to be int of A of I -1 times 60. And now again I will check if M is in A of I, then that I will convert as int of A of I so that is it, right? I don't have to multiply with anything, because if it is minutes, then I will keep it like that, and after that I will return minute. So after writing this, I will run this code and see the output. Okay, now if you see, the duration has changed to minutes. So initially it was 2 hour 5 minutes. 2 hour 5 minute means 125 minutes. So here we can see this is 125, and similarly here 2 hours becomes 120, and 50 minutes becomes 50, and 1 hour 30 minutes becomes 90 minutes. So this is how we can apply, or we can use apply functionality of pandas to change the values of a particular column in the pandas data frame, as well as pandas series as also. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you.